Today, we have Comrade John Brutus with us. He is a member of the Rajya Sabha. He is also a permanent invitee to the party's Central Committee. Comrade Brutus, welcome to Left Lens.
Thank you.
With us. A special session of the Parliament was convened on the 16th of April to push through a constitutional amendment bill. Yesterday evening, the bill was defeated. So this is in fact the first major legislative failure, or let's say setback, for the Modi government ever since they have come into office in 2014. So let's look at that in this episode of Left.
This was not actually constitutional amendment bill or delimitation bill. It was perfectly a jumla being played out by BJP. It was a diabolic game, a dubious trick which was played out by Modi government to cheat the entire nation. Now the alibi is that the opposition has ganged up to defeat the women's reservation bill. It's absolutely wrong. It was a delimitation. They wanted to append the democratic federal structure of India, and the opposition could see through it. As you rightly said, it was a hurried sitting, and there was no reason or rhyme why there should be a special sitting in the midst of the ongoing elections. So they thought that it would be difficult for the opposition to come together and to take a firm joint stand. But yesterday's voting, the so-called jumla that was played out, has fallen flat on the floor of the Lok Sabha. And it sends a good message across to the nation, because if the opposition is serious and united above their parochial consideration, you can really have a control of the executive. You can really checkmate the actions which are preposterous and impactful for the nation.
You mentioned a few interesting things. One is that this was a jumla. Clearly, it seems to be so because 3 years back, in 2023, there was already a constitutional amendment bill that was introduced and passed by both houses, which had provided for women's reservation. Then on top of that, this was brought in without any notification on that act, which was already passed but not notified and hence not enforced. It was only on the 15th late night, if I'm not mistaken, that this act was published in the Gazette and notified. Do you think that was done because the government realized that they do not have the numbers? That they kind of understood that in the Lok Sabha it is not going to pass the test on the floor?
It's not easy to understand what they really intended. First of all, Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. Off late only I learned it because it's very difficult to spell many of the bills that this government has brought forward. But I by heart read. There is nothing called a bill called Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. It's a bill. It's a constitutional amendment bill. Yes. You can't, name a constitutional amendment bill with your fancy words, fancy phrases. So, to 2023, when this one-third reservation of women in Lok Sabha and assemblies were brought in, wholeheartedly we supported this. And we also cautioned the government. I recollect moving amendments saying that, why do you want to link this to the proposed census? Why do you want to link it to the delimitation? Let us give immediate effect to this piece of legislation. That is what happened in the case of local body reservation for the women during Narasimha Rao. No, the government said, no, it can't be done like that. So they resisted the legislative move by opposition because we moved an amendment on the floor of the house. So if the government was keen about implementing women's reservation, they could have summarily either brought in amendments on their own or accepted a couple of the amendments which we moved.
Yes.
They resisted it. All of a sudden, after 3 years, something descended on Modi, and let us do it because it's getting delayed. If it goes like that, if you wait for the future census or the ongoing census, it won't even happen for the 2029 elections. Perfect. The concern of the government could have been sent across to us. We would have discussed it. Many a time the law minister contacted me, the parliamentary affairs minister contacted me, the home minister Amit Shahji wants to have an interface with you to discuss. I said our stand is that let us have an all-party meeting. Before having the all-party meeting, please do share the real proposals, actual details of the proposals which you have. They kept on calling me. Even I was in the midst of the election campaign, they called me and said, no, there is a meeting which is fixed. I said, I'm not for that. The Congress party also took a stand there. Couple of the India Alliance parties participated, but later on we also impressed upon them saying that let us insist on an all-party meeting because we can't trust this government. Because this government is for any dubious acts. They didn't do that. They proceeded with the sittings in the midst of two crucial elections that are ongoing in West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. So they were under the impression that, see, opposition would not be in a position to come together because there are two catches which were there. First is, bringing 2011, they thought that you can prod the North Indian opposition parties to their side. Then on the other count, they gave a hollow assurance to the other opposition parties that, no, don't worry about it. We will maintain the equilibrium, maintain the status quo or the pro rata increase. On the one count, they thought like that. On the other count, they thought that they can hook the parties like that. But I can tell you one thing. After so many years, maybe after a decade or so, there has been a very enthusiastic response from all the political parties. And today morning, we were counting the votes. Apart from few votes, 2 votes from Congress party, 2 members stood in turn up, 7 votes from Trinamool Congress, all others participated. Not even a single absentee from even the so-called North Indian opposition party, Samajwadi Party. So this demonstrates that with a short notice, the opposition has the sagacity, has the ability to come together to checkmate this onslaught. Now, you're coming to your question. We have challenged this government. Even the morning also, I was having some interactions with the ministers. I told them, we challenge you. Come to the parliament with the proposal that let us implement 1/3 reservation for women on the basis of the present number of seats in Lok Sabha and Assembly. We are for it. You don't need to even give us a notice. Today there was a session. Bring it. Let us pass it. They are not for that. So that's what I said in the beginning. There is no real intention on their part to emancipate the women. All this Nari Shakti thing is a hollow rhetoric which is being given. It's only a jumla they wanted to play out. Now they are saying that opposition has defeated. Yes. Opposition has defeated. Defeated because it would have had far-reaching implications for the democracy and federalism of this country. And I have been steadfast in my belief that this country's unity can be maintained only by 3 prerequisites. First is democracy, second is secularism, third is federalism. If any of these prerequisites are dented, the unity of this country would be impaired. So precisely this government is doing that. Each of these verticals have been dented considerably. So there was a threshold. We have reached the threshold. That's why the unity has been possible.
This is something very important that you mentioned, the unity that has come up in the opposition ranks. I'll come to that a little later. But you mentioned that you had talked to ministers even today morning based on the current seats that are there, if we can make this reservation possible. There is this catch that many are pointing out. It is right that if you use the 2011 census or the ongoing census, the proportion of seats is bound to change when delimitation is done, especially when it comes to those states that have effectively implemented population planning. Now, even if you use 2011, there will be some change. Even if you use the ongoing 2026, there will be some change. In fact, I think it is Jalagon Reddy who has said, if it was 2011, it would have been better for South Indian states. 2026 means there will be further population planning. They've even tried that trick to kind of break the opposition, but still the opposition stayed together. how do you think this is going to play out? This issue of federalism that you mentioned, when it comes to the ultimate delimitation and rearrangement of seats, how is this going to play?
Yeah, what you asked, I can tell you in very simple way. What they put across to us as a veiled threat to us, as you rightly said, take it or leave it. If you're taking it, it will be by 2011 census. If you're leaving it, much more harm is going to be done to South India by 2026 census, right? We know that, but there is a protection in the Constitution. That is Article 81, 82 in Constitution. There is a cap for the current number of seats.
Yes.
So after 26 also, the government will have to come to the parliament with a constitutional amendment. We are there.
Yes.
They don't have a 2/3 majority. So whatever protection, whatever the layer of, say, a security that is for the opposition now will remain to be there. And there is another catch. This time, they were much more dubious because they brought in a clause saying that hereafter, if at all we had supported in passing this, hereafter, delimitation will not be part of the constitutional schemes. Anytime any government wishes, with a simple law, they can announce delimitation and alter the constituencies. So it was all the more important for us to defeat this so-called package of bills. Otherwise, we would have opened up such a dangerous trajectory for the nation. And I can tell you one thing. Their threat that, 2011. Then why was it that Amit Shah was forced to announce on the floor of the House? Also, Prime Minister there, no, we will have a pro rata. And if at all, I'll tell you one thing. I was telling these people, if at all they were sincere, they would have included this as a part of the constitution bill.
Yes.
And he had the audacity to announce to the House and the country that give us 1 hour time.
1 hour, I'll come back.
Come to that. Who are we to give him time? He took his sweet time. That's why this special sittings were called.
Yes.
He was sitting on his women reservation for 3 years. Where was this clause? What happened to this so-called clause which they are promising now? So, your point is well taken. We are also aware of that. At the same time, the protection that was there for us in the form of a constitutional amendment will be there in the future also, even if, assuming that we are up to some mischief. That is my hope.
You see, you mentioned that the Treasury benches tried everything that they could, trying to break the ranks of the opposition. It was very clear that they don't have the numbers, especially when they notified the 2023 Act just before this. Still, they went ahead with this. And as you mentioned, it is in the middle of elections. Tamil Nadu and Bengal elections are just about to take place. Why do you think they still went ahead with it? What is their calculation?
Very interesting, because now the coming days, the analysis would be on the basis of this question. What was the real intent of BJP? Was it to get it defeated so that you can put the blame on the opposition? Or did they try to get it passed? Were they genuine in their efforts? Multiple questions are there. See, there is no linear view towards this. As far as BJP is concerned, RSS is concerned, you can't have a linear, plain reading, vanilla reading of what they intend. First of all, what is this RSS? It's a multi-headed hydra. So, any move from the part of the BJP also is a multifaceted strategy, a multi-pronged. So, we don't know exactly what they are stressing, because I can tell you one thing, they thought that defeating this will put the opposition on their back foot, so that they can have a campaign value in Tamil Nadu and West Bengal, especially West Bengal, because they have a feeling that Mamata is a champion for the women, because she herself is a women leader. But I'll tell you, this has absolutely not taken the course of action which they pursued. In the South, it's a question of federalism. It's a question of Dravidian identity. So, beyond their expectation and hope, this has spun into a different ball game altogether. So, whatever they must have contemplated or calculated or motivated, that hasn't taken place. Now they are going for a nationwide campaign. Yesterday, Agnish was telling that few BJP people turned up at his doorstep to protest. Now they are planning protest in every opposition leader's house. Since I don't have a proper house in Delhi, so they will not come to me because what I'm trying to say is that you can't gauge what they really intend. But at the end of the day, reading the body language, because nowadays a picture is much more worthy than, say, 1,000 words essay. Seeing the couple of visuals, BJP never expected such a drubbing. BJP never thought that this would be a huge setback. And even the mainstream media, which used to support them, have understood that it was not all that with good intentions. There were certain ulterior moves.
As you rightly said, the opposition has clearly been galvanized. For the last 12 years, this has been the biggest show of strength by the opposition. Major legislative setback for them. Do you think this can be taken forward? Will this momentum build in the country?
See, today we had a India Alliance block meeting. So we were taking stock of that. I was there, Mallikarjun Kharge was there, Sonia Gandhi was there, Priyanka Gandhi was there, Parivar was there, and everybody was there. All the prominent leaders, even Derek O'Brien from TMC. So we were saying that, see, we fought a bitter battle with the Congress in Kerala.
Yes.
Now we are fighting a bitter battle with TMC, Congress in West Bengal. This is a reality. But on this cause issue of democracy and federalism, there has been a spectacular unanimity and unity that has come around. So I told Kharge also, you are good in Delhi, you are nasty in Kerala. I told him that. So what I'm trying to say is that, see, this is how the dynamics of this nation prompt us to do. We shouldn't take it lie down because BJP wants to utilize every opportunity to create a dent in the opposition unity. Whereas we should master the art of the dynamics of the emerging politics in such a way that we should fight the battle there. At the same time, there is a larger enemy here and our conviction should be completely translated into political action.
Speaking of political action, as we wind up, just one last thing. Something very important has been happening over the last few days all across Delhi NCR, which is that the workers have been protesting like never before. They are protesting low wages, harsh living conditions, and all that. And despite very genuine concerns being raised by the workers, the BJP-led governments in both Uttar Pradesh and Haryana have been unleashing terror, so to say, on the workers. Many have been picked up, detained with no details being given to the families as to their whereabouts. Yesterday, a CPM delegation led by the General Secretary had tried to go and meet families of the workers who have been detained. They were denied permission to do so. Ultimately, you all had to resort to a sit-in in front of the DM's camp office, but the DM refused to show up. You were part of the delegation. In the end, the General Secretary, to use his own words, said that we are calling off the sit-in on the basis of a partial victory. What all were you able to achieve?
See, underneath the shine that is being projected, the underbelly of Haryana and UP administration is revealed now.
Yes.
See, the workers there do not even have a sustenance allowance, against sustenance to sustain. See, the whole lot of gamut of issues. These places like Haryana, Gurgaon or Noida are supposed to be the capitals of capitalism. The sense, so much of investment pour there, productions are happening there, factories, entrepreneurships. But there has been absolutely no gesture or action from the part of the administration to see how the workers survive there. So, out of desperation, these workers have come out. It's not because somebody has motivated them or somebody would have gone and instigated them. It's out of sheer desperation. Despite this double-engine government, the people who are working in NCR do not have even the sustenance level to survive. So that is something which has come out now. Now, take the minimum wages, the capital city, NCR, and somewhere like in Kerala. See, it's Kerala, it is something like double, more than double. And even if the minimum wage is 800 plus, an average employee in Kerala, an unskilled labor, gets more than 1,000 rupees, 1,200 rupees. So, in one way, I'm glad that at least this issue, which was lingering on for many years, has come to be
now becoming a talking point.
Now, we went as a delegation. The approach of the district administration was nasty. Senior members, and that too the General Secretary of an All India party going and visiting that place, should have at least prompted them to be much more reciprocal in their gestures. It's unfortunate that the district magistrate didn't turn up to have a meeting. And many of those people who accompanied our General Secretary were picked up by the police. And at the end of the day, we had to do a stiff, I would say, a stiff activity to ensure that they were released. Even now, few people who have come to meet the delegation are behind the bars, and we are working on that. Now, I feel that this is a time when everyone needs to come together, because now the underbelly has been revealed now. Now, all the trade unions who are working for the workers should come together, and all the political parties should come together. Whatever has been achieved at the national level in the form of an opposition, unity should translate to such important cardinal issues which have to be highlighted by political parties, should be taken up by the political parties.
All right, Comrade, let's hope that this opposition unity that has come about will translate into such measures also, where issues that affect the vast majority.
But I don't know whether the Congress will be interested, because on the economic policies front, they are together.
But apparently, SP and AAP have also conducted some interventions.
No, I have been talking to the AAP leaders and also the SP leaders. They are also of the view that there should be orchestrated and united action so that the workers are protected.
Let's hope that such things emerge in the future. Thank you, Comrade.
Thank you, sir.
Talking to us in detail.
Nice.
With that, we will wind up this episode.